Hi guys, it's Mama Doe Dawn. I am a single mom of a little 2-year-old fawn named Charlotte, and I am also attempting to pay off $55,600 of debt. Today we're talking about 8 different sinking funds that every parent should consider starting in 2021. For 2021 is to pay off all of my consumer debt outside of my car. In order to do that, I'm going to have to start being very intentional about all of my spending and all of my money habits. The way that many financially responsible people are responsible with their money is to create sinking funds, which are essentially savings accounts for expenses that you know are going to come up throughout the year. So think like car insurance. You pay it 6 months ahead of time. You can save up a little bit every single month for 6 months, so you're not just taking a huge lump sum of money out, surprise, every 6 months. A lot of expenses throughout the year that you should be aware of, plan for, and then it keeps you from spending impulsively, overspending, or going over budget during those unexpected expenses time. These expenses, unexpected expenses, but in all reality, they are very expected. That's why in 2021, I'm creating 8 different sinking funds that I invite you to do the same thing for. Let's get started. The first one is just a universal holiday sinking fund. So for this fund, I plan on putting around $20 in every single month, and that's just gonna go to all holidays throughout the year. So I can take money out as I need to, and then I'm just always going to be putting money in, so there will be money available for me to budget for those holidays. So things like birthdays, Easter, Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, all of those things are going to be accounted for in that holiday savings fund, and every month I'm just going to be putting money in there. Charlotte, she loves being louder than anyone else in the room, so I apologize for this every time, but as a single mom, she's just a part of the video. I do plan on setting up a holiday sinking fund. Second sinking fund that I plan on setting up is an activity/membership sinking fund. So this can go for a variety of things. If your child is in sports, if your child is in ballet, swim lessons, all of those things can be accounted for, but also memberships. So memberships to maybe like an online learning program or your local museum or your local zoo. Setting up a sinking fund for that, because you know that your child is going to be in a few activities or have a few memberships throughout the year, can help you plan for that expense, and then you're not just taking $100 out randomly being like, oh, I didn't expect that they were going to get signed up for this, when in reality there's probably 1 or 2 things that you'll sign your kiddo up for, and you'll have the money on hand because you've been putting a little bit away into a sinking fund every single month. Next one I actually already have in place, but that's a car insurance sinking fund, where if you pay 6 months ahead of time, most car insurance companies allow you to get a little bit of a discount. I try to do that, and I put a little bit away every month, so every 6 months I can pull out that large lump sum of money, pay it all ahead of time, and save myself around $100 in the long run. This one is one I mention all the time because every single month these expenses come up, and that is a medical expenses sinking fund. Obviously, this sinking fund can be used for things like co-pays and deductibles, but it can also be used for things like prescription medicine, over-the-counter medicine, random things you need, like Charlotte has had a really stuffy nose lately, so I had to go out and get a humidifier. Those are things that I can just take out of a medical sinking fund in the future because I put money aside specifically for those items that do tend to come up, especially as a parent when you have kiddos who are just little illness ingesting beings. My daughter is only 3, but I do plan on enrolling her in a couple educational activities next year, so this is going to be a sinking fund for school. For older kids, this sinking fund would be for things like school supplies, extracurriculars, clothes at the beginning of the school year. A little bit aside every single month, so then you can go take that lump sum of money and buy everything you need at the beginning of the school year, will really be a nice way to plan ahead for that expensive time of the year for many families. Because my daughter's 3, I do plan on putting her in a couple little local daycare type things just for a couple days every single week, but those things do have a cost, and those things do have some supplies you need to bring. Usually they want the parents to donate things like Kleenexes and hand sanitizer, so I will be putting money aside so I can do that for her next year without it being a really big unexpected expense for me. Sixth sinking fund, that's really hard to say, 6th sinking fund that I plan on creating is a car sinking fund, and I have a relatively new car. It's in really good condition, so I don't have a lot of unexpected repairs probably coming up in the future, but I do have things like oil changes and regular maintenance, and having money available for that will be really helpful for me, because then it won't be so like, surprise, $60 oil change to do this month. I'll be like, oh, okay, $60 oil change, but I've been saving up for that, so let's just take money out. This one isn't going to account for every single person watching this because not everyone has pets, but if you do have pets, having a sinking fund available for them can be really helpful. For my cats specifically, occasionally I'll have unexpected expenses come up. Mostly these unexpected expenses are going to be involved with vet bills. Having a small sinking fund available for vet bills is something that I'm going to set up just so, because I do have a cat that's getting much older. She's 17. In case something does happen, I will have some money set aside, so that can kind of be a buffer in case something expensive does come up in terms of my animals. Last one is a home sinking fund. Obviously, if you own a home, you probably have already realized that you need a sinking fund for the kinds of things that come up, you know, plumbing things or large appliances breaking. But I rent, so you would think someone like me probably wouldn't need a home sinking fund. With that being said, random appliances of mine do break sometimes. So I may need a new vacuum cleaner. I may need a new microwave. I may need a new toaster. Little things like that add up. A random $100 expense like a vacuum cleaner is huge to me right now. So having that sinking fund available will really help me buffer out that cost in case things like that do come up over the next year. The word for the year 2021 is going to be responsibility. I've kind of mentioned this before. Every single year I set up a word for myself. This last year the word was patience. I tried to become very patient with Charlotte, with myself, with everything that was going on. And it was a very good word to have considering 2020 was consistently testing my patience. But I really worked towards that, and I'm glad I chose that word for this last year. With this next year, it's responsibility. I want to take responsibility for everything that's going on in my life. And a big thing that is going on in almost everyone's life is their financial situation. So I want to take full responsibility for my financial situation. And the best way I can do that is to account for as many expenses as possible and plan for those, be prepared for those, and not be setting myself up for failure by letting these expected expenses become unexpected expenses. Those are 8 sinking funds that I, as a parent, plan on implementing over the next year. To hear your guys' ideas for sinking funds that you think parents should have, because when you do have kids, there are a lot of things that come up that you would not have to account for if you didn't have kids. And I have a 2-year-old, so I'm still kind of learning these things. I'm still kind of figuring out what kinds of expenses I need to be accounting for. And if you guys have ideas, I would love to hear them, because there is a very big chance that if it makes sense in my lifestyle, I will be implementing it over the next year. So if you have ideas, please leave those in the comment section below, and you'll probably see that idea implemented on my budget videos if it is something that I think I will be spending money on. If you guys are interested in viewing other videos that kind of go along with a single mom lifestyle, including finance, going zero waste, just everything that goes on with me or my daughter, I'd love to have you come back anytime. And as always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.